Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Bibbs, Alonso, no Francis this week, alas. We're up to episode 6 of season 1, Betrayed. Well, you know, any show that has a giant twist of events that happens in the first 5 minutes, you can pretty much always go, it's a dream sequence.
Well, I got really excited because, like, okay, so so Emma had sex with Hunky McStud,
Right?
And then afterwards, she was like, "How would you like some post-sex murder house?" And he's like, "Yeah!" And then they go to the murder house, and then she gets stabbed by the killer, and then she wakes up, and I got really excited because honestly, I think killing her character would be more exciting dramatically. It would really throw everything off.
I
had have to investigate her phone.
Sure.
People might think she was involved.
I had a glimmer of, they're gonna do this? That would be so great. Oh.
Yeah, no, they're really committed to her as an interesting character, and she is no Sidney Prescott.
No.
Certainly yet. I mean, it's TV, she could grow, but like she's not. Her character isn't as exciting or even as integral as Noah or Audrey, who Audrey has just become my prime suspect, obviously, after this episode, because it's a good, when you're doing an elongated mystery, you want to like rule someone out early on. Like even in Scream, they ruled out Skeet Ulrich because there was that phone call from jail. So it couldn't possibly be Skeet Ulrich, and then it turns out it was Skeet Ulrich. So now Audrey is just like, it's probably Audrey now. All right, fine.
I guess. I mean, yeah, she's no less plausible a possibility than almost anybody else.
Yeah.
I loved the whole the cataloging, the who's a suspect, which is everybody, including the person making the catalog.
Resting creep face.
Resting creep face.
Practice your resting creep face.
I probably have it anyway. I don't know. Don't tell me if I do. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else did I write down?
Moments was when what's the name of the blackmail guy who isn't Will? Yeah. All right, so he's talking to that girl whose dad is the mayor. He's like, you have to stop obsessing over that video. You mean the one in which it looks like he killed my mom? Yeah, I totally need to get over that.
Put that out of your mind.
It's been 12 hours. Come on. I mean, jeez.
I think she would have wanted you to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm glad they addressed the once again the mother-daughter sex bet that's going on.
Yes,
with Emma and her mom. It's a throwaway joke, but yeah, it is odd, and I hope which makes me wonder also potentially if the sheriff and his son are the two killers.
You know that I'm thinking maybe. Actually, I'm definitely leaning toward the son, but I could see the son and sheriff just because they're both the least interesting people on this show, and that's saying something. So that's going to be their secret thing that makes them interesting, perhaps. I wrote down most dimly lit locker room ever.
Yes, I wrote down, and that is why I never exercise. Never spotter sequence. I've seen that in a couple of movies. It's just you never lift anything.
Yeah, not over your neck.
It's the 21st century. You don't have to do shit. All right. You don't have to do anything anymore. We have the internet for that now. It's great.
And you can have the swell physiques that Bibbs and I do.
I'm going to give everyone 5 seconds to write a fat joke in the YouTube comments.
And done. Okay. I love any shout out to Shiva the Destroyer.
Okay.
Just, it's one of those things it's one of those phrases like destroyer of worlds that I just, I love it.
There were a lot of references in this episode. Like, that's one of the things that the early episodes, they didn't feel like Scream. And here it feels like we had a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
There was all that stuff where it was just like, the Joker eats, Bane, well, maybe Bane eats. I'm pretty sure Bane eats.
Yeah. There were a couple that felt really sort of shoehorned in. I didn't write them down.
Although I did wait, that's Elvish. just wanted you to know that's pretty cool that she owns that. But it does start feeling a little bit more like Scream. That's something I've been complaining about, and I'm sure people are tired of it. But again, if you're going to adapt something, adapt it. Take what's good about it, take what's meaningful about it, and use that, and throw away anything else that isn't relevant anymore. And now it's starting to feel a little bit more like Scream.
I think I would have imagined that they would, in addition to sort of referencing social media so much that they would use it more interestingly. Like, we had the Snapchat appearances at 2 different points that were sort of like, I'm watching you and I'm watching you right now, you know, that were kind of cool. And the YouTube stuff that sort of kicks off a lot of the plot. I don't know, I thought maybe there would be more of that because this, this show is so plugged into the young people, you know.
It's with it, it's now.
Yeah, like I thought maybe there'd be more, I don't know, Instagrams or something, I'm still waiting for Periscope to make an appearance on this
That's true,
show.
It's only a matter of time. They started off well, I think you're right, with all that social media stuff, but you can't have the same. You can't have and this week it's this social media.
Well,
episode.
sure, obviously.
It's why someone didn't die last week, for example. You want to keep people on your toes. Maybe they won't die every week, and then stab. Oh no, Will.
But is he dead?
I saw next week on Scream. So do you want to know? Because they weren't afraid to tell us.
All right. Well, because if they once his body gets dragged off, I'm thinking, okay, this is either staged for Piper's benefit or
here's the thing: if he died in this episode, he died off camera, and what does that tell you?
Exactly.
You never trust it if they die off camera. Never.
Yeah. I want a body or forget it.
Yeah, exactly. Even a body sometimes.
True. Yeah.
We had a severed head guy in a car, and we know that the killer is still out and about.
Well, he was also burned beyond recognition. But,
I want to talk about one thing I do like is that is it Brandon James is the killer in this?
Yeah.
He's been everyone's just sort of taking it for granted that Brandon James is a homicidal maniac. And this episode, they actually just said, well, maybe he wasn't, and maybe there's something else going on.
Sure.
Which makes me think it's probably Emma's dad.
Yeah.
Who was actually responsible, and that's why he's not around anymore.
Yeah,
he's probably killing everybody.
As an oft-referenced mystery figure, things seem to be pointing his direction.
Yeah.
And now we get the flashback from this episode that tells us basically that Brandon is Boo Radley.
Yeah, basically. Which, hey, it's a good trope.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. So maybe we'll get a Then Came a Watchman reference next week. Oh wait, that came out too recently.
That might be too fresh.
Next season.
Okay, so I don't get why Will wanted to bring Piper to the meeting with the mayor about not blackmailing him anymore. What was that supposed to accomplish?
I'm a little hazy on that, which makes me wonder if maybe they needed a witness. Right. He was trying to, I think he was trying to clear his name and, show that it wasn't him doing all of the blackmailing or something. But then, he just sort of confesses to it. And he doesn't even really do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what he was after. Wait. Now she knows that the mayor was doing something. He's not going to blackmail him anymore. But he's on record as giving into blackmail.
Right.
So now the mayor is still kind of screwed.
And so she's got that in her pocket, whether or not it has anything to do with the actual murders.
Yeah.
And she is trying to get Will to tell him all the stuff that Bella Thorne was up to.
Yeah. Too many names.
So I don't know. I keep waiting for Piper to sort of have some reason to be here, and maybe we're starting to get one.
I like her character. I like that actress from True Blood. She's fun, but yeah, she needs to. That was the thing with Courtney Cox's character, the reporter character in this kind of story, is they mix the pot. They stir it up.
But we don't get her. I mean, Emma's doing all the investigating and all the digging up of backstory here.
Well, and the new police officer in charge of the case, who is at the very least highly motivated.
Lorraine Brock. Yes. She's a pushy one.
She is, but she's not wrong per se.
No. But yeah, she's very vociferous all the time about things and proving, and so you're off the case.
In this review alone, we have listed 3 people we think are prime suspects. So I'm curious what your over-under is on these. Audrey.
I don't know. I don't want to have this.
You don't want to think about it?
I don't want it to blow up in my face later. And
this is going to evolve over time. This is the whole point of a serialized murder mystery. I think it's fair.
Okay.
At this point in the narrative, and then we'll look back and we'll see how far if they got us, that's good storytelling.
Okay, sure. I put Sheriff's son at the top of the list, followed by Sheriff with an asterisk.
Okay.
If he's involved at all, it's only in cahoots. Not by himself. Then Will, I just kind of feel like you said, dying off camera is super, super hinky. And then Audrey.
Okay, I'm gonna go with it's Scream, so there's probably multiple killers.
Sure.
So this will mix up.
Yeah, and I think Will in confluence with whoever dragged him off camera.
Okay, I'm willing to bet Emma's dad is, if not the killer, then at least directly involved. So he's definitely my number one. Followed by Audrey, followed by Piper. Actually, because of that mysterious backstory, and then followed by the sheriff and his son together in particular.
I want to do a side bet that I think that Brandon is going to turn out to be Emma's father.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
All right.
So, who knows?
Who knows?
Do we know what we're talking about? We'll find out.
Idea. Share your stats in the comments. We'd love to see them. Take care.
Thanks.